Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Arsenal Away podcast with me, Samrid and Ashwin. As you know, we're a brand new Arsenal channel that started by two fans from India. We've been passionate Arsenal supporters for a while now. We're on pretty much all social media channels, on Twitter, on Facebook, as well on YouTube. Subscribe, hit the bell icon to help us grow, and of course, tune in for both pre and post match thoughts from both Ashwin and I during the season. Ashwin is shaking his head because we're in the doldrums, so to say, and that's putting it mildly. A calamitous loss yesterday that I don't think any one of us thought would happen. Brighton hadn't won in 2020, and of course, we being us obviously obliged them with the win that led them to do the double over us. Mope with winners in both the games. It was it was a complete shit show yesterday, Ashwin, and I'm not sure what to make of it anymore. I don't know how many times I've said this to you. I don't know what to make of this team anymore, and it just the rot that set in is highlighted every time we lose. It's the same conversations, it's the same recriminations that we have, it's the same discussions that we have, and quite frankly, it's tiring now. And I remember remember telling this to you before the City game that it's more a case of me at least now liking the thought of Arsenal as opposed to actually liking Arsenal play, because it was dire as they come yesterday. Um, your thoughts on your initial thoughts before we get into the actual game?
You wait 102 days for this whole virus, this whole pandemic, and then in 4 days it completely ruins everything that you waited for. That excitement of football is back. We played fine. We played City, where you expect us to not win or do well. Uh, that game's anyway like you could say that was a game was a write off. But against Brighton, when you know you need the points, when you know that this is your chance, how do you perform like that? Like I don't know what it is with the players. It's not just been this season, but we've been suffering this for maybe the 5, 6, 7 seasons. Is that the Arsenal team can concentrate for 90 minutes and then they switch off with in added time. If for some reason they're not playing and they're not concentrating, and that's something that's making us lose the game. That second goal that we conceded, where he turned, was it Rob Holding that he turned, and it was too slow, and Mustafi was there making an error.
Mustafi, it was Mustafi. Mustafi was the
Mustafi,
one got turned.
yeah, Mustafi. It was like I don't even know. Like, it's something that, as a joke, I put up on our Arsenal group before the game started, saying that, Brighton haven't won a single game in 2020. Final score: Brighton 3, Arsenal 1. And I mean, it wasn't 3-1; it was 2-1. But it, it it's like a sucker punch that is. It feels so bad. Like, you don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I think you and me were discussing it post match, saying that you don't even know who to defend, what to say anymore, because it's the same thing that we speak about over and over and over again. Every season we come to we come to this part of the this stage of the season, and it's the same thing. When the pressure is on, we crumble. When there's no pressure, the team does well, and then everything looks rosy and everything looks like, oh my god, that if we had done this before, we would have done well. But I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's to blame the players, it's to blame the manager, it's to blame the board. But we just don't see him in it, and we can blame injuries as much as we want. I know Bernd Leno would have not got us the goal, but now having three major injuries in 2 games within the space of 4 days, after not playing for 102 days to come back, is a very Arsenal thing to get. And I know we've been unlucky with our injury, but it's just something that we now have to deal with. It was a shocking display. Like, nobody looked up for it. There were countless chances that Lacazette had. Our midfield was non-existent. Both Guendouzi and Guendouzi had a decent game, like an average game, but both he and Ceballos, I felt, were overrun. We had, I mean, coming from a midfield where we're used to Vieira and Gilberto, to even the likes of Fabregas and Diaby or whoever was in midfield at that time, or even Santi and Coquelin. Coquelin not being the best, but we still managed to control that midfield. We don't have anybody in midfield right now, and that's where we're probably losing every battle because it goes straight from defense to attack. We're either playing a long ball or we don't have the creativity. So there's a lot of sideways passing. So I don't know right now. We're being overrun in a lot of departments. Ordinary teams are making us look extremely ordinary. We are presently 10th on the table. If Burnley win their game, we go 11th. I don't even know. Like all I can say is we've got 40 points. We won't get relegated. That's the only positive hope that I'm seeing from this season.
What are your thoughts on the lineup? Were you expecting anything different from the City game, or do you think it was in line with, or was that an 11 that should have gone out and done the job?
So I was happy with the lineup. I wasn't that sad. Maybe I would have probably played Özil in midfield because we wanted that creativity. But what was shocking was more than anything, his substitutions were shocking. Okay, I can't blame Arteta for putting out that lineup because he's stuck with the players that he's got. So he's trying to do the best that he can. But you can blame him for his substitutions. When we're 1-1, when you want a goal, uh, he's brought on Tierney to play left wing in front of Kolasinac. I mean, I remember Wenger used to do this a lot during his end of his era when he would bring on uh, who he would bring on Clichy, no, not Clichy. He would bring on Kieran Gibbs to play in front of Monreal at left wing instead of bringing on an attacker. And not bringing somebody like Martinelli who basically has the energy, who has the drive to go and attack, and is the second most potent attacking threat that we have after Oba in the team in terms of goals and contribution. To not get him on and bring Tierney there was a little baffling to me. Okay, you can argue that it was only about 7 minutes or 6 minutes, and maybe Martinelli might not have had the sort of impact that we would have expected. But it's still a little shocking as to why he's overlooked Martinelli for these last two games. Um, I don't even want to get into Ozil. He spoke about how things were normal with him and Ozil, but keeping him on the bench, and then when you're seeing that throughout the game we're struggling with creativity, and we need that little something extra in the final third, and having somebody on the bench who can provide that and not bringing him on is can't say anything else.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean. I think the Tierney thing was, of course, I thought that when he brought on Tierney with Kolasinac still on the pitch, I thought he'd probably switch their positions, have Tierney play as left back and Kolasinac as a fullback because Kolasinac has defensive weaknesses and he's much more potent going forward. So I thought he'd probably make that switch. That's why I sort of thought he would. That's what he would do, but he didn't. The Martinelli thing makes no sense, and neither does the Ozil thing because Willock was not in the best of wasn't the best move. I think Ceballos was, again. I keep going back to the Burnley game as his only major contribution that he's made in the entire season. He's not worth the money that Madrid want. I don't think he will ever. I don't think he in his current form is going to start ever for Madrid. Um, the Ozil thing was baffling because for a team that was then chasing the game and for the gaps that were appearing in midfield, uh, that it seemed like he was the man to pick passes. I don't know if it was his fitness or whatever it is that Ozil thinks that Arteta thinks why Ozil didn't come on. I don't know. I don't think we'll get to know. Um, but it wasn't a great performance again. It was Lacazette has been having a season that I don't remember a striker playing for Arsenal has ever had such a terrible run. Last striker I remember who had such a terrible run was Giroud, and then that was when we were in that lesser winning season when he went 12 games without scoring. That pretty much cost us the title. Um, Lacazette looks far from a 50 million pound striker, and for someone who you've paid that amount of money, you would expect at least 15 goals a season, if not more. Giroud you was signed for I think about a third of that, and he gave us 20 goals a season easy. I mean, Giroud was here with us for 5 years, and he scored 100 goals for the club. So I'm not sure And Lacazette, who's someone apparently who has I mean, a lot of Arsenal fans think that he's great. And he did have his doubters when he came on when he joined us, and it's coming true. He's just not there. I mean, he does seem to step up for us in the big games that we play at home again, but for the away games, he's invariably missing. Um, the last away goal I think was a big away goal that he scored for us was the Napoli free kick last season. Um, for a striker to have gone 6 months without scoring is for someone that you've paid that amount of money. And what I guess what annoys me more is the fact that the players just don't. I don't. There's now a sense that the players are they just want the season to be over. There's no sense. There's no drive. I mean, you would expected them to really go for the game, especially after the results that we had that were in our favor yesterday. Spurs drawing, you would have thought that there's an incentive to catch up and make up ground because there wasn't really much gap between us and fifth spot. Seeing that fifth would in the current state would be a Champions League spot, but nothing. Um, so now we're at a point where it's the next whatever 8 games I think we've got left. I think and we play Leicester at home, we play Liverpool at home, we play Spurs away, we play Wolves away. I don't see us getting any points from those. Um, we'd have to be exceptionally good. Like the point you made that we have to be good on our day, and our days in the season are few and far between. I don't see us beating Wolves. I don't see us beating. I don't know. Maybe Leicester. Maybe because Leicester haven't really been great over the last few months. Liverpool, no way are we beating them. Spurs could again. It's a toss up because it's a derby, so you don't really know how that goes. But quite honestly, if you ask me, I don't see us getting anything from those 4 games. The remaining 4 games, Southampton away. Southampton has always been a bogey team for us when we play them away. That leaves Villa. That leaves Norwich, I think, and one more. And then, so I would just say that just take these experiment as much as possible. Give game time to the likes of Martinelli. Give game time to the likes of Tierney, who could do with some match fitness, and concentrate and give it all for the FA Cup because winning that would be some sort of embellishment for an absolute shit show of a season. So those are my thoughts. I don't really have much to say on the game because it's a pointless discussion on who played how. Everyone was crap. I just feel sad for Leno because he's been our best player this season, and for Morpe to come and say that some players were mouthing him off after the game, he meant what he did, 100%. We've had that with Alexis in the past, where players who've been mid-air have been pushed off the ball. Alexis was lucky to escape with injury. Debussy wasn't when he was pushed off by Arnautovic in his very first season that he came with us, and I thought the few games that he had with us, Debussy was great. He seemed like an answer for our problems, Debussy, and that was his pretty. I think that it pretty much ended his career as a professional footballer. He never recovered after that. So for Maupay to say what he did and then after doing what he did is all complete bullshit. And of course, it had to be him to score the winner. So it was, I think, a game that's forgotten, and yeah, we move forward. Southampton away, not not an ideal fixture. I don't even know if there's an ideal fixture with this team anymore. Um, yeah, Southampton away midweek on Thursday. It's not a game I'm looking forward to, quite honestly.
You know what was really sad is I don't even know, man. Like when Mope challenged Leno and pushed him, there was nobody that actually came and stood up for Leno, which is pretty sad. That Leno, when he was stretchered off, had to actually get up and defend himself. So I don't know if the players thought that the challenge was a fair challenge or if the players are just not interested anymore. Because
That's just it. I mean, there's this team, and team hasn't for a while. And there's no sense of character. There's no sense of standing up for your teammates. I think Arsenal fans would have been fine having like some of them getting a booking or having sent up, because if nothing else would have just showed there's some passion, there's some fight there, and nobody came up. It just seems that they're there for, they just want to get this game overdone and dusted with, and
And
it's a problem that's been there for a while now.
I mean, I don't want to blame the referee, but there was that young central midfielder yesterday who I don't remember his name though, but had about seven
Seven
challenges,
seven fouls that he had
seven
got away
fouls,
with.
and
Yeah,
yeah, no yellow cards. The last person who did that was Jordan Ayew, sorry, got away, and you know, I mean, it's the same referee. Martin Atkinson was the referee that day also when we played them, and yesterday. How do you get away with seven fouls and not give him a yellow card? So I think it has a lot to do with, you know, this image that Arsenal have, saying that we're a soft team. So a lot of managers tell their players to go hard into Arsenal players, and at some point they, while going in hard, they don't really know where the line is, and they end up injuring our players, and that just basically stems down from referees not protecting us. And I don't know. I don't want to blame the referee. It's just one of those days where I think that whatever little goodwill that Arteta had built up before COVID, I feel he's gonna slowly start losing it, because even though, okay, I know we have to only judge him after he gets a complete transfer window, but that's my problem, right? See, Chelsea have finished 10th before, United have finished 7th, 8th, Liverpool have finished 7th, 8th. This is the first time we'll be finishing, I think, below 6th place in a long, long time. But that's my worry. My worry is that when Chelsea finished 10th, when United finished 7th, 8th, they have the money, they have the resources to go out there and buy that Pogba 80 million. Chelsea have the sort of money to go pay 60 million for Timo Werner, things like that, right? That's my worry. I don't know what's going to happen. If Raul's going to do the dealings that he's been doing, he's going to go and probably favor players that he knows, or he's going to go and basically um, all the agents that he's friendly with, he's going to go and get them. I mean, there's a possibility of us getting Kluivert from Roma in exchange for Mkhitaryan that we're talking about, 15 million plus Mkhitaryan for that. Now he's essentially a winger, and do we really need a winger right now? I can understand if we're probably going to sell Oba and we get a winger in, but then what happens to Martinelli? What happens to Saka that can potentially play in that position? So again, things like that, we have to really see whatever money that we have. Like you mentioned it, saying that this started way before Emery came. It started under Wenger, that towards the end of his career that we were buying some really we were making some really bad signings for like Mustafi, paying 32 million for Mustafi and things like that. So it's not like we've not had the money over the years. We've had the money, but we've just spent it wrong. Like we've not really made use of.
So just on that, I was calculating. I did very rough math. I think we spent close to about 200 million pounds on players that would at any, for any other club, any other smart club would have built a squad from. 200 million pounds is not a small sum of money. And I would tear this up completely, like burn it all down and start all over again. There will only be a handful of players that I'd keep. I'd keep Leno, Tierney, Oba if possible, Saka, Xhaka I would keep, Martinelli, Chambers, and maybe to some extent Holding. I would then just replace everyone, because everyone here is, it can be gotten rid of. Guendouzi, I don't know what to make of him. I think he thinks he's made it, but he clearly hasn't. There's a long way for him to go, but I think, but for outside for a handful of players, I would let everybody go, because this club needs a reset, and I fear that it's not going to happen anytime soon. And I don't think Arteta will be given the sort of freedom that Emery was given. Because fans at the end of the day, fans' memories are short, and I think he'll get this window and maybe another one to fix up. And we'll become that club where we're hiring and firing managers, and who would want to come and take over such a shit league? Like, there's no established name that would want to come and fix things here, because problems are not just in the team. Problems are right throughout, from the Cronkies to this football group of Vinay and Rahul and Edu and Cronkite Jr. And then on to the playing 11 or the playing squad for that matter. Um, what confidence does the like of a Saka have or an Auba have to continue their careers here at Arsenal for a club that's not even drifting, has drifted away? Uh, so it's tough. I don't see us recovering anytime soon. I have zero confidence in anybody in the board, or I mean, I guess that is why I guess people sort of miss Wenger, because if nothing else, he had control of the playing 11, of the playing squad. If nothing else, when he was there, he would say this is what happened and nothing more. That maybe did not work out well for us towards the end, but this board, I don't see us doing anything, and it just now sounds very reminiscent of what Gazidis said, that what we can do will surprise you, and we will be competing with the likes of Bayern, etc., etc. And it just sounds like words now and nothing else. Even when Vinay and Rahul, when they did that interview, I have zero confidence in them.
We somehow tend to hire like really well-speaking marketing guys, like from the likes of that bald fraud who's at AC Milan right now, to Vinay, to Rahul. They seem to be able to talk so well and beautifully convince the audience, saying that, you know what, this is what we're going to do, and this is, and at that moment, all of us are like, oh, this is amazing. Our club is saved, and these guys are going to make sure everything's turned around, and then 5 6 months later, everything goes to the shit. So I don't know. I mean, before I move on, I just wanted to ask you: is there any sort of positivity from from the game against Brighton that you thought was there, or that that you can think of maybe after these two games?
Just I thought Leno was our shining light. Outside of that, I have a sneaky feeling Martinez might just do okay, because he's looked good whenever I mean, he's looked safe. I think is the word. Now he's come on, and I think Pepe's goal yesterday. Those are the moments that you expect your big players to stand up, and from nowhere to have scored that goal. Super finish, cut inside left foot, and curled it in. Super goal. But that's it. There's nobody that I would even want to. Saka was again had a great game yesterday.
I was just going to mention that. I thought
Um,
Saka did decently in
yeah,
a different
Saka
position
had a
again.
good game yesterday. Again, he had a good game again yesterday.
And
So I think
for
that's
him
it.
to play,
That's it.
he played right wing against
Yeah,
City, and then
yeah,
he came and played in one of the three midfield positions, in the left
yeah.
mid position instead of the left wing position. He hit the bar and had a couple of crosses that I think Lacazette should have easily converted. We should have easily had taken a 2 or 3 goal lead into halftime. But just knowing us and the way we played, the lesser said, the better. Anyway, that was Brighton. Moving on to the game on Thursday, we go away. I think you touched upon it. We go away to Southampton. It's a game that we usually end up doing pretty poorly, even though Southampton, I mean, somehow they turn it on. Somehow every team turns it on. I remember Shane Long having the game of his life against us and tormenting us. And I mean, somehow teams just get that extra gear when they play against us. So, just not really, really looking forward to it. But yeah, your thoughts. Who do you think Arteta is going to play, and predictions for Southampton?
Uh, I would like to see. I'll tell you who I don't know. I can't predict his 11, but I'd like to see Ozil play. I'd like to see Martinelli play. I don't think Lacazette should start. I don't think anybody should start either. I think it should be Martinelli, Auba, and Pepe, with Ozil behind them, with Xhaka. Sorry, not Xhaka. With um, who's fit again? Guendouzi, I think.
Guendouzi and
Uh,
Ceballos are only two midfields.
Ceballos, I think that's our only option, then the both of them. With Tierney holding, I thought was also okay till we conceded both the goals yesterday. So holding Mustafi and Bellerin with Martinez, I think that would be my playing 11. Um, I want to see Auba in the center. I want to see Martinelli left. Martinelli, Auba, and Pepe. I think I would be with Ozil behind. I think should be the way to go, because we need to win. I don't know if we will. I don't expect us to get anything from the game. So that's my prediction there. I don't think we expect us to get
Uh,
anything from the game, but this is what I'd like to see happen.
So I kind of understand why he's not playing Ozil right now is because we're missing out either on Xhaka and Torreira. So there's that defensive component missing because he knows Guendouzi and Ceballos aren't the best defensively. So playing like an Ozil over there becomes again that three in midfield who are all offensive and can't defend becomes a little problematic again. So I don't know if he's going to start Ozil. He might be on the bench. He might not be on the bench. I don't know, but no Ozil, but we definitely lack creativity, and having him in the side makes a massive difference. I don't know. I mean, the back four picks itself right now because we don't have any fit defenders apart from Mustafi and Rob Holding. Even though there was like, unless he tries to switch Tierney to centre back and plays Kolasinac at left back, but I don't see that happening. I think Tierney comes slots back and plays left back there. If we play Rob Holding, we play Mustafi, and I don't know. I don't know what it is with Hector. Ever since he's come back from his injury, he seems to have lost his pace. He got beaten very easily yesterday. There were times when you'd see the old Hector overlapping the winger, supporting an attack. I mean, yesterday we didn't see any of that. Hector didn't go forward at all. Defensively, he got beaten a couple of times by who's on the wing, and I don't know. I don't know if it might be a wise move to actually let Hector go in the summer because probably need somebody else who can come and do that job. But if we had a fit Cedric Suarez or maybe even give Ainsley Maitland-Niles a go there if he's willing to play there, because I remember under Freddie and before Arteta that came that I think Maitland-Niles had two of his best games for us and he did really
Yeah.
well. Yeah, so I don't know if he still wants to play there because I know he's come out. He's come out so many times and said that he only wants to be in midfield. But if Arteta can convince him, I don't mind giving him that go because Hector doesn't seem himself. Midfield. I think we have only two centre midfielders again fit who can play, so we'll have to play Guendouzi and Ceballos. Again, two of them didn't have the greatest of games.
Assuming
Guendouzi,
if Guendouzi doesn't
yeah,
get banned,
banned. Yeah,
yeah.
Guendouzi could get banned. Knowing us and knowing the FA, they love banning us. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get a 2-3 game ban. So if that happens, then we're really struggling in that area because he either plays Saka over there or he plays. I don't even know if he can play Willick, but somebody will have to play that position. Um, I would love to see Ozil as well in that number 10 with the front three that you mentioned, Oba, Martinelli, and uh, Pepe, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he'll stick to Oba on the left because I feel he gets more protection with Oba over there. Saka is definitely going to start. I don't think he can drop him after the two games that he's had. So Saka probably play either in midfield again or Saka he probably push him to the right and play one of either Eddie or Lacazette up top. I think that's what he's going to go and do again. I think we're going to have to see the likes of Martinelli, Ozil, all start from the bench, and I don't know if they're going to get game time or no. But uh, that's my lineup over there. I feel that's what he's going to do. Score wise, I think I don't know if we're good enough to win this game. Southampton always turn it on. I hope we can draw this, but I have a feeling we might end up losing again 2-1. And I don't have a good feeling for this game at all.
Yeah, I mean, it just shows how far we've fallen. That we're not expecting a win at Southampton. I mean, this was a Southampton side which, over the years, has had a very good bunch of players: Mane, Schneiderlin, Shane Long.
Van Dijk.
They've all been, yeah, all players who've now gone on and done really well for themselves. Um, yeah, I don't have any expectations from this game. I would just be would I would it be us to would it be like Arsenal to completely blow away Southampton when nobody's expecting them? Yes. Would it also be like Arsenal to go to Southampton and just end up losing 3-0? Also, yes. So I don't know what to expect from this team. But you make an interesting point around the starting 11. If having Saka in there does you would invariably leave out either one of Ozil or Martinelli. So yeah, I think that's again, that would be based on if Guendouzi plays or not. I don't think he will because he, as you said, FA will probably ban him for the post game antics. But yeah, no, as far as the match against Southampton goes, it's as good a time as any to beat them because they have like super home support always, and maybe that has played into our minds earlier. But clearly, home support or not, we can't be trusted to go to such places and win. Um, so yeah, I'm not expecting anything. If we get a draw, I'll be surprised if we lose. Well,
Maybe
the season's
maybe
anyways a write off.
maybe Ainsley gets a game in midfield. Maybe this is his final chance for him
Possible,
to actually get that
very
game.
possible.
I mean, if I was him, I would grab it by with both my hands because knowing that there's a spot up for grabs. Because when Jaka comes in, Jaka I think walks into this team, and then there's another position over there. So if Ainsley can make that him his that role his for himself. I just want to touch upon Ceballos that you mentioned that he's not going to feature in the Madrid team at all. I think that for us to extend his contract or even make it a permanent one makes no sense at all because Madrid are going to ask for nothing below 25 to 30 million. And I don't think that he's made that much of a positive impact in our midfield for us to consider doing that. I'd be happy to let him go and spend another year alone in Spain or not be with us because it doesn't take up that position in midfield, and we have that option to either blood in a youngster or get somebody else. But yeah, our midfield looks weak. It has looked weak for a long time. Uh, a lot of people say that we are poor defensively, but I think it does a lot to do with us not being strong enough in midfield anymore and not being able to control the game there. I think that's a priority area that we have to rectify this summer. I know there are talks of Thomas Partey coming in, but
Which makes sense. Which is why the Partey deal sort of makes sense because he's a player that could would probably instantly improve us.
but then
But I
again,
don't know if that's a player that he would want to come to a club like ours at this
you'd
point.
you'd have to see the system that Simeone plays at Atletico is a very defensive system. So a lot of players can look good in a defensive system. Uh, Arsenal don't play a defensive system, and like however much Arteta is trying to improve it, Thomas Partey is not going to come and change the world and be the Makelele person that Chelsea thought that they signed, and stuff like that. And another thing that worries me is everybody is now talking about how William Saliba is going to come and save us, and I mean that the guy is 19. He's going to have so much pressure on him. Everybody's going to expect him to turn out to be Virgil van Dijk. We have to realize that he's coming from a team from France. He's 19. We can't
I mean, I
overburden him.
fully expect. I mean, I know we can maybe touch upon how the summer will shape up as we move forward, but I fully expect with Saliba coming in, I fully expect one, if not two, departures from the back for sure. Because no way are we having six centre halves at the club. Chambers, Socrates, Louise, Mustafi, Saliba, Holding. That's
Ma-
six centre halves, and
don't forget
that's
Mavropanos.
and Mavropanos. So no way is that happening. I have a feeling that we're definitely heavy there. Just need the quality there as opposed to numbers. Uh, but yeah, it's a huge job, and you're right. The midfield has always been an issue over the last few years. So I wouldn't be surprised to see major departures happening, the likes of Pereira, Socrates, maybe Ainsley as well, just to make up funds for Teta getting sold. So let's see how it shapes up. But for now, Southampton's is in our radar, and hopefully this team does something great. At least gives us a good performance, if nothing else.
Don't bet on it. That's all I can say. Anyway, that's been the pod, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Like Samrit mentioned at the start of the show, give us a follow on Twitter, Facebook, and on YouTube at the Arsenal Way. And let's hope for a positive result, guys. See you guys on Friday. Thank you.
Take care, guys. Thank you.